Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays.
Well, what's going on, everybody? Good evening, and welcome to Laker Talk One-on-1. I'll be your host this evening. My name is Freddie Henderson, joined by my brother Jonathan, Big Time, and Corey. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on? What's happening?
My name is Freddie.
What's going on?
Joined by my brother Jonathan. Man, not much. Corey, what's going on? Kind of hear a little echo. I'm not sure who this from. As you guys know, a couple weeks ago, Kevin Durant dropped a huge bombshell in the NBA, and we all knew even before that Kyrie Irving wanted to find himself to be a Laker, and so that's been the talk. Pretty much, it stalled a lot of free agency and a lot of things that happen in the NBA. The world is still trying to figure out where's Kevin Durant's going, where's Kyrie's going. Will Russ be traded? There's been a lot of talks from the Lakers to the Nets. What I've been hearing is that Jeannie has been listening to Kurt Rambis, Phil Jackson. That's the reason why she sent that tweet out on last Sunday night, I believe. Talking about how she missed Kobe, how he would know what to do in situations like this, and all that good stuff. It's been reported that she's not been willing to give up those draft picks. Brooklyn wants the draft picks. And there's also talk that there's certain people inside that organization wants Kyrie, which we know LeBron's been an advocate about him. But there's also others that would rather go down the Buddy Hield, the Eric Gordon, trade to get bringing shooting. But also has been a little rumble that LeBron is willing to leave the Lakers, not sign this extension unless they bring in Kyrie Irving. So there's a lot to unpack on the show. First off, I'm just going to ask the question, Jonathan, do you believe Kyrie Irving will get traded to the Lakers?
I'm highly confident and hopeful that he will soon be wearing the purple and gold. I mean, look, this would be a match made in heaven if he can reunite with LeBron James. I can see this happening. I think this is something the league also would want because, look, it would be the biggest story in the NBA, and then everyone will be talking about the reunion, the LeBron and the Kyrie reunion. Now, Jeannie Buss and that Lakers front office, they're going to have to be willing to give up those picks if they want to make this happen. And if you want to keep your star player happy, you're going to have to do whatever it takes to make sure this trade does happen. So I do think it's going to happen. Now, look, it's not easy, right? This is very complicated. This is complicated stuff. I mean, you should have known that Sean Marks was going to ask for a lot in return. Look at the Rudy Gobert trade. They got a lot in return for Rudy Gobert. So if the team that acquired Rudy Gobert got a lot, what do you think that means for the Brooklyn Nets? It's the same thing. They're going to get a lot in return too. So I mean, Jeannie Buss is going to have to make something happen if she wants to, keep LeBron in LA beyond the 2022 season. Or the 2023 season, excuse me. But we'll see what happens. But I think Kyrie is going to be a Laker by the time it's all said and done. This deal won't get done overnight. It's going to take some time. But I think it will come to fruition when the time is right.
Yeah, if I unmute myself, you can hear me. Big time. How confident are you that this trade will get done?
Mm. And the crowd goes wild. Um, I believe that it will get done because we're still in the mode of kissing the ring of LeBron. I believe it will get done, but at what expense? So, but we got to keep in mind if we're talking about trades and all that kind of stuff, the Lakers don't have to look. We don't have to look too far back to see the mistake that we made when we let go of Ingram and all those guys. And so, what you don't want to do is trade away future for now. When you're talking about now only being maybe 2 good years, LeBron gonna be out of here in a couple years. I say it anyway because a lot of people have forgotten what this ultimate goal is, and that is this man really wants to play with his son. If his son is good enough to make it, now if he's a lottery pick, he cannot control where he wants to go. LeBron wants to be a free agent so that he can go wherever his son goes, and that'll be it. But in the process, if you do that, I mean, what are you going to trade away? What, 2, 3 first round picks, maybe something like that? We've already paid the price for mortgage in the future, so it just depends on what the price is for real, because you don't want to. He be gone in a couple years, so I don't know. I ain't I understand the want and the need to do it, but the Lakers we just made that mistake a few years ago, trading away all this young talent for all these old veteran guys. So I just don't, I can't put it, but I think it's going to happen.
Well,
LeBron wants it to happen.
well, Doug, I'm going to challenge you a little bit, my friend, just a
Come
little
on in
bit.
here.
And normally mean you don't disagree on things. Yes, we gave up a lot of those assets, but ask yourself, we need to ask ourselves, was any of those guys going to be guys that we were going to win a championship, multiple championships with? Because we won a championship because of that trade.
Um,
So that's one thing that we also have to consider as well, because we talked about it. You said it. She has the same name as her daddy, but she ain't like Dr. Jerry Buss. But we know
I
Dr.
did.
Jerry Buss, they was willing to go all in. And we've
I,
also seen that we've seen trades come around and turn their season around. Let's not forget about, you remember when there's a Kobe Bryant that was not happy the way the organization was going, that they wasn't going anywhere. What did he do? He put pressure on the Lakers organization. Then they traded for Powell Gasol. And look what happened. I'm not saying that we're going to trade for Kyrie and we win 2 championships, but I can guarantee it that we're going to be a lot better than we was this year. That we will be playing in the deep playoff run. I'm pretty safe to say that. So yes, we gave up a lot for AD, but we also done something that a lot of teams can't do. We've seen the Phoenix Suns the last couple of years been one of the best teams in basketball, and what happens when you get to the playoffs? Because that just shows it's not easy to win championships. So, I mean, when you have a chance to go all in for it, I'm a believer you go for it.
I, I'll get my boy Corey go in before I hit you. Go ahead, Corey. I'm sorry.
I'm really confident that the Lakers will make this move, but I don't want them to make this move um, without actually trying to figure out how to do it where it doesn't mess up the team any more than what it already is. Um, I think that Jeannie Buss is still consulting with a lot of people that really that she really needs to try to figure out, some of this stuff on her own, because I mean she is the owner of the team. and it's too many people in the kitchen. I just think that if we make this decision to bring in Kyrie, it needs to be a smart decision. It needs to be something that is well thought out and considered, and not just because LeBron James want him on the team. I think the owners need to take back control of the NBA, because I mean it's just starting to get kind of ridiculous where you're in the first year of your contract and you can just get out of it. Just demand a trade and you're on another team. I mean that's just not good business. But that's my thoughts. I do believe that he will be on the Lakers, but at what cost? That's my only concern.
I'm gonna. I hate challenging you guys because this is not what this show is supposed to be about. But I want to challenge one thing, Corey. You said that you wish the owners would take back of their teams because you have guys that's wanting out. So I have no problem with player empowerment. Just because these owners are not loyal to these players. I mean, we've seen players get traded on the bench. We've seen players get traded during All Star Weekend when they was promised they wasn't going to get traded. I mean, hey, it's a business, and it's a business on both sides, and both sides have to understand that. Before Doug come at me because I know he's ready. Make sure you follow us, like us. Click the subscribe button and all that good stuff. Doug, go ahead, my brother.
It's really not coming at you. Me and Corey kind of on the same page on this. It's just that we've had the experience. The only thing that saved us that we brought LeBron here. You got AD here. They've already paid the debt. It's another banner in the air, so they actually have done what they're supposed to do. However, I'm still saying the same thing. When it comes to LeBron, he's not gonna be here too much longer. I'm gonna give him 2 years. That's it. That's it. By then, he has made and nobody don't want to kind of, talk about it, but I've already said it. His plans is to play with his son. If his son is good enough, his son will not be drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers. That's because he's going to probably be a lottery pick. LeBron contract ended a couple years. Okay, he's gone. I can get you if you say Kyrie and AD are still here, but I'm not too excited about that. I don't trust neither one of them. Those two guys are just about as unstable as you can find, to be honest with you, as far as health and everything else goes. I'm saying I'm just like Corey. You can do that, but what and you would see immediate dividends. I'm not coming against that. We're closer to a championship with Kyrie there, LeBron and AD if healthy, rather than Westbrook, et cetera, et cetera. I get that. I get that. I already know that. But sooner or later, LeBron is gonna leave, and then the hands of the franchise is in the hands of Kyrie Irving and possibly Anthony Davis. I'm sorry, that ain't too good for me. I'm sorry. I've seen enough from Kyrie. The part I'll come at you, Freddie, is this. If it was a one player, a player doing this for the first time and leaving and say they want to go somewhere else, I get that. But we got a track record with Kyrie that if the sun don't shine the right way, he ready to lead the franchise. It's just as simple. We got too much of a track record. KD is turning into that. These are guys that you cannot bank your franchise on. There's just no way, because they had the franchise. He had Boston. He had Brooklyn. He left. He left Cleveland. It is what it is. I can't bank my franchise on a guy that if something goes wrong, I know he's going to be ready to leave. It's just as simple. And with LeBron not being there, he's going to turn into, I already told you from the last show, LeBron is going to have to do a daycare service. I told you that. He's going to have to be a daycare man. When LeBron is not there, Who you talking to? Anthony Davis, the babysit him then? Give me a break. Who gonna babysit Anthony Davis? If he ain't got a band-aid and a cast on his leg by then, good God. I mean, come on now. I can't mortgage 3, 4, 5 first round picks with two guys, or at least especially one, who let's not forget, Kyrie stays hurt too. Let's throw that in. Kyrie stays hurt too. Maybe not as bad as Anthony Davis, but he stays hurt as well. I can't bank my franchise on those two guys. I'm eliminating LeBron. Well, this is just gravy as far as I'm concerned with LeBron. After when his son hits the NBA, man, he's gone. You want to play with his son. That's all I'm saying.
That's
All
some
right,
really
let's
good.
get to the. We'll go ahead, Jonathan.
That's some really good points there, though. I mean, you really can't trust in Kyrie Irving, but I feel like LeBron will keep him in check. That's why I think this will work. I think this would help Kyrie in the long term. It would help him, as a player, and I think he'll stay more focused with LeBron playing alongside him.
Well, it's not just LeBron. It's either him and Phil Handy. They're tight. I believe Phil Handy's gonna have a big part in this. Also, Darvin Ham. Kyrie's gonna have guys that's gonna hold him accountable, which he didn't have in Brooklyn. So, and I mean, I agree with everybody's points. I definitely agree. Um, Want to shout out to everybody's in the views and the comments. Please leave your comments, your opinion on the Kyrie to LA thing. Um, Marvin said Lakers' bigger problem last year was defense and rebounding. Those Kyrie help does those Kyrie help that? They Lakers had a problem, had a top 10 defense. We blame Westbrook, LeBron, AD. And Westbrook played 17 games together. So Kyrie is the answer. Come on, all Laker fans. Um,
That's my
hey,
coach there.
we're not saying that he's gonna we're not saying that he's going to answer fix defense and stuff. But brother, if you didn't watch Westbrook play last year, if you didn't see either fit, I mean, even when LeBron and AD didn't play, I mean, it's not I mean, I can understand about the 17 games, but the brother didn't play good when he was by himself. And let's just be honest, he still showed you know those flaws. And I'm just gonna say this. We said this on a couple episodes. Everybody is not fit for LA. Everybody's not meant to wear that purple and gold. Some people just fold under the bright light. Because those banners you see up there in the rafters, those retired jersey, that some of those stuff things have effect on a player. And let's not forget, Westbrook is coming from he playing at home. A lot of pressures on him to succeed, and he just did not live up to the expectations in LA. So, but let's get to Genie Bus. This is gonna be an interesting topic, and this is not the first time we've heard of this, but this has been going on for a while now. That she's and honestly, this has been taking place ever since she's taken taken over the franchise. That she's had to have some kind of she's kind of had some kind of advice. Had to look up to people to help make the right decisions and things like that. I'm gonna pull up the tweet. This will kind of give us a way of understanding, and this gives some context to what we're about to talk about. If I can find this tweet, and if one of you guys have the tweet by you as well, you guys can read it off too. Um, thought I saved it on here.
Whatever it is, it's a bunch of foolishness. Let me just throw that in. Whether you got to do it or not, this gonna take some time. So I hope everybody ready for this one.
Yeah, it's in our group chat. I'm gonna pull it up and I'm gonna read it. Here you go. This states, I miss, and by the way, this is at like at 1 a.m. in LA time that she's tweeting this out. Just to give some context. I miss Kobe. He would understand and explain everything that I'm not allowed to. Honestly, he was the greatest Laker ever. He understood team over self, meaning your rewards would come if you value team goals over your own, and everything would fall in place. All can reply. Like I said, this is 1 a.m. in LA on 4th of July. Doug, I know this hit home to you. I know this
No,
got
no,
you
you
all
know you
riled.
don't want to start this off with me. No, you
Did
do
she
not.
have too? Did she have too much to drink?
Yeah,
No, we're
don't.
gonna let Doug
Oh, okay,
take the
okay.
first step.
All right, y'all want to start out with me. First of all, let's reread the tweet again and let's see this real quick, Laker fans. She says, "I miss KB, Kobe Bryant." I'm not gonna argue with that. All of us miss Kobe Bryant. Okay, so I'm not gonna argue with that point. I'm taking it sentence by sentence. He would understand and explain everything that I'm not allowed to. That's partly true. He would do that, but Kobe Bryant, okay, he's gone on to be with the Lord. That's where he is. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there's a certain man that is living that loves the Lakers just as much as Kobe Bryant did, and that's Irving Magic Johnson. Please understand, she could have called him. Let's get that right. So next thing, honestly, he was the greatest Laker ever. That's disputable, but that's another whole topic in itself. He understood team over self. Can I mention the word Irvin Magic Johnson, who's supposedly supposed to be your brother, if I'm not mistaken? Many of your rewards would come if you value team goals over your own, then everything would fall into place. All can reply. Well, she opened it up for so I can reply. So here I go. We got to stop giving Jeannie bus. We got to go ahead and call it like it is. Okay. We're not giving her no more fair shakes and all that kind of stuff. And the honeymoon is over as far as I'm concerned. You got Laker legends right there who love and breathe the Los Angeles Lakers, who would tell her you're wrong in this spot. Her problem is, and has always been, she getting advice from the wrong people. You got Magic there, who she can get them on speed dial. They have a great relationship. I even take it further. The Los Angeles Lakers employ James Worthy as he is right there. Talk to James Worthy. Kareem is only one call away. I mean, the list go on and on. You about to retire Paul Gasol. Call Powell overseas. Good God. Call somebody. Don't blame this on Kobe. Blame it on yourself. You chose to talk to Linda Rambis. Who is Linda Rambis? Lord have mercy tonight. Who is Linda Rambis? Okay, I get you might want to talk to Kurt Rambis because he knows how to win too. I don't. He wasn't the lead man, but he knows how to win. He won 5 championships. He knows more. He knows about the game of basketball. There are plenty. You got look. I even say Derek Fisher works for the Los Angeles Lakers. Talk to him. He know he's a Laker through and through. Call him, but don't talk about it. I ain't got no trying to present. I don't have nobody to talk to. He would tell me. Please understand, Irving Magic Johnson's value is for the Los Angeles Lakers. Nobody questions that. Call Magic. Magic ain't hanging up the phone on your face. Everybody know you can call him. Give me a break, man. You talking to Phil Jackson. Was you drinking with Phil Jackson when you made this tweet? I mean, were you laid up beside him? I mean, what in the world are you doing? Good God. I mean, come on now. Jerry, the only person that is a Laker through and through that may have a problem with helping the Lakers is Jerry West. Other than that, Irvin Magic Johnson is right there. You ain't getting no help from Rob Pelinka. You're not getting no help from Linda Rambis. Linda Rambis don't look. I don't know what is she. I really don't. But calls a real basketball person that will tell you exactly what you need to hear, which leads to another whole conversation. I'm gonna pass it on. Is she really a leader? See, her dad would have took care of this a long time ago. It wouldn't even got to first base with Dr. Bus. If at this point now, if you have to question, talking about I need some help and all that kind of stuff, I'm questioning should you even be the leader of this franchise? If you got to talk about a dead man, trying to figure out a dead man to come help you. No, 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 no. It's too many Lakers greats that's around that you could have called. So I'm not giving her a pass. If you can't do it, find somebody that will. Get your other brother in there. Do something. I mean, I know he was trash, but look. If you can't do it, Linda Ramage show can't. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's a pretty it's if you go back in time, a few years back, when she took over from Jim Buss, who did she have to talk to before she made that decision? She talked to Kobe and she talked to Magic. I mean, this is a person, and we all love Jeannie, the person. We all love her. But she's the same person that she had to get advice from random people to make these decisions. And I'm gonna go a step further. You don't need Kobe to make that decision. You don't need Magic to make that decision. You could have called AC Green. You could have called Knicks and Maxwell. You could have called Meta World Peace or whatever they call them these days. You could have called them Robert. You could have called Robert Ory. You could have called hell. She could have called on the Laker Talk one-on-one crew on this very same panel, and guess what we would have done? We would have said Russell Westbrook is not a good fit. Russell Westbrook does not fit with LeBron and AD. Russell Westbrook cannot help us win a championship. We would have said Kyrie Irving is a better fit. We would have said he can shoot better. He ain't gonna turn the ball over as bad. We could have told him that. So what do you need Kobe for? I mean, God rest his soul. That's my favorite player. But at the end of the day, you don't need Kobe to make that decision. That's not a hard decision. That is not a hard decision at all, ladies and gentlemen. That's easy. So, and the question is it time for her to sell the team? I believe that Laker fans around the world should start a petition to get her removed. Why do I say that? It's because, like Doug said, she got to depend on everybody to make a decision. Linda Ramdas, if you look her name up, it actually says that she's an advisor, a business advisor for the Lakers. If you look at Kurt Rambis, and I disagree, Doug. He don't need to have no voice. He don't need to have no say. So we seen what he did to the Knicks. We seen it. So why should we give him a voice? The same thing with Phil Jackson. I mean, Jeannie, if you love the man so bad, why didn't you marry? I'm just saying. But his name always floating around, Jeannie. But this is the same guy, and Phil Jackson who destroyed the Knicks. Even they was already destroyed, but then he didn't make them better. So why are we listening to people that is not credible? Why are we listening to people that does not have the background of turning a championship team into a champion? That does not have the background of taking a team to a championship. There's a reason why Magic Johnson stepped down from the Lakers a few years ago. That's probably one of the hardest decisions in life. And don't get me wrong, I said this about Magic, and I agree that he probably is not the best person for that job because he was not able to do the day-to-day operation like we needed him to do. Because we all understand Magic have his hands in everything. He's always have. That's Magic. He's the businessman. But to sit up here and act like she's this great of owner, you know, she's not. I mean, and we all love Jeannie. I mean, if you ask everybody on this panel, we all say we love her because we love what she represents. But like Doug said, is she really that leader? Her last name might say Buss, but she is not no Dr. Jerry Buss. Dr. Jerry Buss, first of all, we wouldn't be in a situation we're in now because Russ Westbrook wouldn't even been here this year. First of all, he wouldn't have allowed that to happen. Quasi kept that AD trade, it wouldn't have been as much. I mean, I still think we would have got it, but Dr. Jerry Bush would have came in and said, no, this is what we're gonna do, and we wouldn't have given up as much. And then he would not have waited to get Jim Buss out of office as long as she did. Are you muted, big time? You muted.
Don't worry about that. Is you just everybody has a thing, and I don't want to take up too much time because Jonathan and Corey got to get in here. But it's the bottom line. She's a bus, but she's not Dr. Bus. Bottom line. It's just this simple.
Shout out to my mom. I see her in the comments. I had to make sure Mama Henderson happy. All right, Jonathan. Is it time for Jeannie to sell the team?
Well, Freddie, she's not gonna sell the team.
No. That wasn't the question, Jonathan. That wasn't the question.
I
Well, she would.
understand,
We
but
all know she ain't gonna do that. The
she's
question
not.
is it
She's
time
like
for her?
Jerry Jones. She just doesn't want to give up power. It's that simple. And when she does let other people have a voice, she empowers the wrong people, the people that don't know what they're doing or know what they're talking about or don't really have the vast knowledge about basketball, at least not from a business standpoint. And that's been the problem. And that's why the Lakers are in the situation that they're in. That's why they're in dire need for a shooter and have a hard time getting one because they gave up so much of their future to try to get better now. And even though they won a championship, it really hasn't worked like they would like it to. And they just haven't met standards really, with the team that they do have. So that's why they're kind of in the situation that they're in. And Jeannie Buss, I think she has a lot of self-doubt. She's not really sure what direction she want to take her franchise in. But when you have too many voices and when you have too many people telling you, no, you do it this way. No, you do it this way. No, well, I think you should do it this way. No, how about we do it that way? Then it becomes a problem, you know, and things don't always work out as planned. And that's what we've been seeing with this Laker team. So I think she is a huge part of the problem. She definitely hasn't been the solution. And hopefully she can fix this team in the near future because this team really needs to hit the reset button. I think they just need to, give up a lot of the players that they have now, and just hit the reset button and go into a rebuild.
Hold on.
Yes.
I did.
You know,
I
and what the
100%
I need to
disagree.
answer the question. What was the question exactly?
Because you didn't answer it yet. You ran around the question. You tap dance and act like you Michael Jackson, Jonathan.
Okay,
The
so,
question is
okay. Okay, well, since I danced around the question, what was the
the
question?
question is, Jonathan, is it time for her to sell it? We all know she's not going to sell it. But the
Well,
question is it time? Do you feel like it's her time to sell it?
yes, but in reality, it's not going to happen. So, I mean, if you want me to answer the question, absolutely, she should sell the team.
Man, I
But
think you better than Michael Jackson, brother. You tap dance around, you answer, but you still tap dancing. You better than Michael Jackson.
yeah, I'm right. No, I'm doing the moonwalk. That's what I'm
You
doing.
are.
I'm over here moonwalking. If
Yeah,
you really,
you are. Corey, is it time for her to sell the team?
Um, well, I mean, it's kind of a complicated question. That's why it's probably hard for Jonathan to answer it. Because when Jerry Buss died in 2013, he controlled 66% of the Los Angeles Lakers. And he divvied it up between all of his children, the 66%. So the children are involved. They have a trust. It's the Buss family trust. So they don't have full control of the Lakers. She has a controlling interest in the Lakers, but she couldn't sell the team if she wanted to. She would just have to step down from that position. So I don't think
Okay,
she.
let me rephrase the question. Do you think she need to step down, sell her portion, or all that? I'm talking about. Does she need to step away? That's the question.
Yes, she does.
Yes. Yeah.
Because
Now,
if you,
yeah.
if you're tweeting out late and trying to call upon Kobe to help you in this situation, I'm questioning your mental health right now. I don't think that you are mentally stable enough to control this position any longer. Once she hit that send button, I knew for a fact that this was not going in the right direction and that they needed to get somebody else in there. I mean, Jim was trash, just like Big Tom has said. But I mean, I might want to get him back in there. I don't think he'd be doing no tweeting like that.
That's what
That
I
is
was
my
about to say.
opinion.
Who would step into that role?
I mean, he has other children that are vested interest. I mean, has vested interest in the team. I mean,
Right.
Let's
So
give Joey
who
Buster
would
an
fulfill that
opportunity. I'm going with
responsibility?
Joey.
That's a good question.
Joey runs the scouting department, player development, all that. Let's roll with Joey. Let's give him the chance.
Can I throw this in, which will kind of, I guess, it ties into Jenny in the tweet, but let me ask y'all this: for her to be calling on the ghost of Kobe Bryant for counsel, what does that say to LeBron James? Because
Well, no,
universally known, he is, and we're not talking about everybody's feelings. He is known. Some say he's the greatest player in the history of the game. I'm not even trying to debate that or even solidify that. But if he's not number one, most people have him as number two, as the second greatest player that ever played this game. If you want to answer about what a franchise should do, does it make sense to call on Kobe? I mean, LeBron James? He's sitting right there. He under your contract. I
well, Doug,
mean,
if you
I
read
don't
that
get that.
tweet, my brother,
I don't get it.
Doug, if you read that tweet, and a lot of people picked up on this, they could have thought she was throwing a slug towards LeBron, because
Oh,
when she
well,
said,
I'm starting to question that myself. I'm starting to question
because
that
when
myself. You have a guy who knows how to win. He's a backyard GM himself, because he's constructed championship teams with the moves that he is told Cleveland to make. He really didn't have that type of control in Miami. But if you notice, some of these folks that Miami had was because of LeBron James, some of these spot up shooters that he had. I give him that. He came to LA. He pretty much constructed the championship team. Why in the world? I mean, it's an insult to really. He should have took that as an insult, to be honest with you. This guy know what he's doing. You want to have an answer on what to do? Don't call on a ghost. Call on the living. LeBron
and,
James sitting right there.
and Marvin, I want to go after what you said, my brother. Yes, LeBron. A lot of these moves have been because of LeBron, and to be quite frankly, it showed that he messed up on one, and that was Russ. Instead of going after to get the guys that fit around him, like a Buddy Hield or DeMar DeRozan, or bringing it back to Alex Caruso or whatever, he decided to bring in Russ because he respected him. Yes, that was the one bad move, but other than that, all of others work. Him forcing to get Anthony Davis, bringing in Rondo, Danny Green, ACP, JaVale McGee, bringing in those guys, it won. It worked. It won a championship. So it's so easy to criticize the guy for bringing in one guy, but let's not forget, it did work. It helped us win the championship. But I mean, we got to be willing to try something. I mean, because what if Genie Bus is lost? I mean, what's the point? But let's transition to the next topic, because there's also been reports that if the Lakers do not trade for Kyrie Irving, that LeBron will not sign this extension in August. But the question is, will you guys be mad if this man decides, hey, after this year, I'm leaving, I'm gone, because you guys did not do whatever it takes to help us continue to win. Um,
No, no. He earned his right to leave. He delivered a championship. And if he wants to move on and eventually team up with his son in the future, he can do that. He can do that. But he delivered an NBA championship. He constructed, as you said, a championship roster. And so he's free to move across the country if he wants to. I really would have no problem with him leaving, especially if it's in the best interest of his son. If that's his ultimate goal and if that's his dream to team up with his son, then he can leave, and he has every right to do that.
Marvin, you're right. He's 38. But my question to you, sir, did he look like he was 38 this year? He looked more like he was 28 to me. Just saying. All right, Doug, Corey, which one of y'all want to answer this question?
Go ahead, Corey.
Just like Jonathan said, I mean, he delivered. I mean, he's etched in Laker history forever. Once you bring a championship, with the heavy scrutiny that he had that first year, them defacing his mural and all this other stuff, he's done what we wanted him to do, and that's bring a championship. I mean, if he just brought one, if we only got one, it was a success to me. And I'm one that can vouch and say that I was very critical of LeBron. When he played for other teams, um, and didn't really too much care for LeBron while he was on other teams doing that. And then when he came to the Lakers, I mean, he had to show and prove what he can do. Why do they call you the king? I want to see some of that, on our team. And so when he delivered that championship to us, it shut my mouth. I mean, he can do whatever he want to do. He brought the championship to LA. He said he was going to bring a championship to LA. He didn't go all Miami on not one, two, three. He said, he was coming here to try to compete for a championship, and that's what he did. And so, if the man want to leave after the end of his contract, we can't kill him for that. I mean, it's going to be a struggle to try to draw free agents because the only bargaining chip you got is Anthony Davis, and I mean, we've talked about that already. So, I kick it back over there to you, a big
Now,
time.
Corey. I disagree. This if he leaves, we only win one championship. It's not a success. But Doug, I'll let you go.
Uh, it really ain't about him leaving. This really is all about him being a part of the contract negotiations or the trade thing for Kyrie. He's positioning himself to put pressure on the Laker organization to say, this is the guy that I want. And if you don't do it, it's a possibility that I'll get out of here. LeBron ain't going nowhere. LA has been incredibly beneficial to him and his businesses outside of the court. We all know what just happened just a few weeks ago. Some may say he was going to be a billionaire anyway, but please understand, being in the city of Los Angeles around all this stuff has helped him tremendously. He's not leaving that. That's just common sense. It's just really all about, well, I'm closer to getting what I want. And the only way that I can add my 2 cents in to try to get this stuff done is unless I put out the threat to Jenny and say, hey, you got a chance here to get who I want. And we all know we're going to be better if we have him rather than Russell Westbrook. If you don't do it, it's a possibility that I may be getting out of here. That's the only reason why he's saying that. There's only one thing that is going to get LeBron James out of Los Angeles. That is his son. That's it. He has this goal in mind that he wants to play that 1 year. I think his son, what is a senior in high school, if I'm not mistaken, coming this year. He's banking on this kid to play 1 year college ball and become a lottery pick. So LeBron is going to leave Los Angeles, in my opinion, because at that time, nobody ain't going to be banking on no 40-year-old man talking about winning the world's championship. He wants to play with his son. That's the only thing. That's why he's constructed his contract the way that he does it. He has a master plan. He wants to play with his son so they can have that 1 year. He can coach his son the whole year, be with him, and all that kind of stuff. That's the only thing. This is all about Kyrie Irving. That little, this is just about Kyrie, trying to get him to Los Angeles.
And I agree. And if I'm Jeannie, Rob, or whoever's running the organization, if you're hearing this, you need to listen. Like, don't be stuck in your ways. Don't be because I've even seen a report that they're still trying to run this as a mom and pop shop. Grow with the times. You are the Lakers. Be better than them. Show us why you are the most legendary franchise in the NBA. Show us why things are different. Uh, but it is what it is. So I'm tired of talking about Kyrie and LeBron right now. So let's go talk about another Laker great that won 3 championships with us. Um, no, 2 championships with us. I'm sorry. And Pau Gasol, with Kobe. It was reported that it's a possibility that his jersey can get retired this year in the number 16 next to Kobe Beans. My, I've seen a lot of people didn't agree with it. A lot of people didn't like it. I love the idea because, Kobe was a big part of our team, but people forget how great Powell was for us. That connection that him and Kobe had was just as great. It might not have been great as him and Shaq's, but it was dang near up close to it. One thing that Powell brought to us, man, he brought an inside presence, but he was skilled as well. He had the post moves, had the mid range. I mean, he had the package. To me, we would have not have beaten Boston without Powell. We wouldn't even been in that. We wouldn't even been in the conversation because we seen what it looked like when it was just Kobe by himself. Do you guys think Powell was deserving of it, and what do you guys think of him getting his jersey retired, Jonathan?
Yes, I mean, I think this is a cool gesture from the Lakers organization. If not for him, I don't think Kobe would have won those 2 championships. And Kobe was begging for another player to play alongside him, and that's when the Lakers went out and made the trade happen, and that's how they acquired Paul Gasol. Paul Gasol was huge for the Los Angeles Lakers, even though he took a lot of criticism. Now he's hearing a lot of praise from Laker fans after uh, years after his retirement. It's amazing to me how we appreciate someone once they leave the game, but when they're present, we scrutinize them, and we complain about how soft they are, or how they don't do this, or how they don't do that. And that was the knock on Paul Gasol, right? He was too soft. Well, he did help you win two. He did help your team win 2 championships. So you got to be grateful for that. I think he was a huge part of that Lakers championship run in 2009 and 2010. So he definitely deserves to have his jersey retired and up in the Lakers rafters. No question about it. I like this. I know a lot of people disagree with it. They're saying that other players should have been retired before him. But don't forget that this guy played a pivotal part in your team winning 2 championships, both in 2009 and 2010. So I like this move.
Corey, what do you think about the move? We can't hear you, sir. You muted.
We wouldn't have went back to back in 2009, 2010 without Paul Gasol. I mean, if you remember in 2010 in that closeout game against Boston, the man had 19 and 18, 19 points and 18 rebounds. I mean, that was a tough Boston team that had to have they took everything. Like that team right there was very tough. I mean, you don't beat them without Paul Gasol, and I don't have no problem with it. And then with his relationship with Kobe, I mean, I don't have a problem with that at all. Paul Gasol definitely deserves to have his jersey hanging in the Lakers rafters.
All right, Doug.
During his time with the Lakers, Gasol averaged 17.7 points, 9.9 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.4 blocks, 6-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA player. That alone right there will get you in the Hall of Fame. So if he's going to the Hall of Fame, it only makes sense. Most Hall of Famers jerseys are retired. Does he deserve it? No question. If it was not for him, Kobe Bryant would not have those additional rings that he has. He deserves to be up there, and no, he does not have to be the greatest power forward in Laker history. Is what did you do in that time frame when you were with the Lakers? Beyond a shadow of a doubt, I already know you're going, Freddie. Yes, I already said that he is. I said that the first show. He is the greatest power forward in Lakers history. Pau Gasol is the greatest power forward. Ladies and gentlemen, before y'all jump up and try to come at me, I said power forward. I didn't say small forward. Okay. Uh you just have to call it as is. And James Worthy, for some of y'all, was not a power forward. Before y'all go crazy. Just stop it. Power forward, he's the best power forward that we've ever had. There, he deserves to have his name listed. His jersey does need to hang in the rafters. He was that big of a contributor. He was that big. He is, and please, y'all little young folks, please don't say Anthony Davis is the greatest power forward in Lakers history. Give me a break. Stop it. Don't even come at me with that. Man, I don't even play enough games to do all that. And to answer my coach who's on there, Coach Marv, he asked the question, would have traded AD? And I believe he asked that question in the offseason. That is the biggest bargaining chip that we would have had, Coach. We should have you would get a lot back for AD. So yeah, I would have took the chance considering that he ain't playing. So I ain't no big fan of AD. Some of y'all may love him, but I ain't too crazy about him. He had street clothes for me too much. I care less, if this was the gold chain championship of the world, he might win it. You know what I'm saying? If this was the best jeans award, he might win it. You know what I'm saying? If it was the
Hey, to
best
his credit
clothes.
though,
The
to
best
his credit,
player award.
Rob Pelinka did. Rob Pelinka did say that he's having the biggest all the best all season of his.
Man, I could care less about all season. That's because there ain't nobody on him. He's shooting free throws by himself. Good God, please. Let's see what happened when the season started. Can he make the first 20 games? If he could do that, I'm happy. But back to the matter at hand, Paul Gasol, no question, should be in the rafters. I mean, we have more than the usual names. Gail Goodrich is up there. Jamal Wilkes is up there. I mean, we already know the main stars. This dude deserves to be up there, no question.
It's crazy to think about it. I have Powell the greatest power forward of all time as well. But you look at small forward. I mean, people forget, and we talked about it on the first show. We forget we got Elgin Baylor, Jamal
LG,
Wilkes,
LG,
and
yeah.
those guys. I mean, it's kind of hard, and I know a lot of people, a lot of the millennials, they would jump out and say, "Oh, LeBron James," but we're talking about in Laker history. Now, I will say this: if LeBron win another championship or two, then hey, his name is getting right up there on the small forward list. But it is what it is. Let's talk about. We have a few more minutes to talk about the last topic. If you guys been keeping up with the summer league, um, the Lakers that most definitely have some bright spots, and little disappointment spots, if you ask me, or young players. I'm not that sold on Christie as of yet. That's just my opinion. Haven't really seen much out of him. He needs some work. He looked like a guy that's going to have to be in the G League for a year or two and just really work on his game. I'm really sold. Me personally, I'm sold on Scottie Pippen Jr. and Cole. And I'm gonna say this: if these guys keep lighting it up the way they are, and they go into the training camp doing the same thing, Darvin Ham's gonna have to find some time for them this year. If they're going out there, Scottie Pippen Jr. giving you 15 off the bench, and Cole knocking down that three like he's been doing, they're going to have to find time for these young players this upcoming season. But I'm not too sold on Christie. Not if yet. I know it's still young. He's a young player, but he definitely needs some improvement. Sharif, he probably should listen to his daddy's advice by staying in college, staying in school. He don't look ready. Um, and that hurts because we've all wanted to see the dream of Shaq's son playing for the Lakers, following out his daddy footsteps, but he don't look ready. at all. Corey, do any of the young guys look ready for you, or do you agree with me, or do you see anybody else?
I want Scottie Pippen Jr. I mean to make this roster because I've seen the potential that he can make, and I agree that they're gonna have to make some decisions to probably get him into the rotation. Now with Shaq's son, um, your daddy gonna know exactly your game. He done seen you play. He gonna know the best sound advice for you. You can take it. Or, you can prove him wrong. But I mean, I'm gonna listen to Shaq. Shaq got 4 championship rings. He's been there, done that, and he's not trying to, be, hypercritical of his son. I mean, that's his son at the end of the day. But hey, son, you're not ready. You ain't got this right now. Stay in there for a little bit, get a little bit more training in. I can work with you. You had the health scare, a couple years back. Let's take some time on this. And he didn't listen. He wanted to try to do it on his own. And I mean, it looked like Shaq is winning this debate. Um, Now with Max Christie, I haven't really seen a whole lot of him, but I have heard a lot about Scottie Pippen Jr. and I seen him in a little bit in college. Some of the numbers he was putting in college. I mean, it was kind of head scratching that he went undrafted and we got him. So I'm hoping that he can make an impact soon.
Marvin, let me ask you a question, sir. Yes, we can kill Anthony Davis because as less games that he played, he get hurt. But he have won a championship when he's healthy. We've seen what that brother can do. We can say that Westbrook had a lot to do. Reason why he struggled shooting the ball. The spacing on the floor matters. I've seen, like I said last year, I've seen it where Anthony that they was making Anthony Davis seem like he was the third option. We went away from going through AD at the first couple plays of the game, getting him involved in the game. It's not just that we killing Westbrook. We're just going off what we see. We definitely can't talk positive about him. And the only thing positive we can say about him is that he showed up to the game. He showed up to work. Other than that, that's about it, my brother. I mean, just being honest. Um, Doug, was there any young player that stood out to you during the summer league?
The obvious is Pippen Jr. And I have to apologize to him because I was one of the ones that said, you can't make it off your dad's name. That's what I had said, and I could care less about, the name. You're not your daddy. So, and that's I have to apologize to Pippen because he can play. There's no doubt about it. And if anything, he probably would fit the mold that Coach Ham is looking for from the defensive position. He is a great defender. Of course, he's scoring, but he can really defend. And that's what we're going to need. That's what we didn't have last year at all. We need guys that can flat out defend from the guard position to the forward position. We didn't have it at all. And so he fits that bill just off that alone, but he can score. And I have to apologize to him. I didn't know he was, I know it's summer league, but he has tremendous confidence already. He needs to play. As far as O'Neal goes, you know, again, you can't live off your daddy's name. He's not Shaq. So, and unfortunately for him, when you come into the league and you got a world famous father like that, you come with expectations, and that's just automatic, and you're going to get charged for it, and so it's a big letdown if you're not even close to the guy, and he's not. He needed more time in college and all that kind of stuff, so I'm not messed up about that. I agree with you though, Freddie, when it comes to Christie, and it's kind of hard to gauge summer league. Training camp is going to tell us where he's going to be playing. Training camp is going to put him in a G League or wherever else. But as of right now, if you had the choice would be between Pippen Jr. and Christie, and I think it is obvious that Pippen deserves to play before Christie as of right now. No question about that. So out of all the guys, I like I like Pippen Jr. No doubt about that.
I gotta give Cole some love too, man, because he can. Hey,
Cole can shoot. Cole can shoot it.
that brother can knock down.
Yeah,
Hey,
he can shoot
hey, like I said, he reminds me of that of Kuzma in a way a little bit. They can get hot and he can get he can go give you 3, 4 threes in a row. Jonathan,
Hmm.
is there a young player that you look at that stood out to you?
Yeah, Scottie Pippen Jr. Definitely stood out to me. I mean, look, this is a kid who can ball. He is showing that he's ready. He has shown flashes of maturity and brilliance early on, and he still has plenty of room to grow. He will continue to evolve over time, and I think if you're Darvin Ham, you want to figure out where he plays in this rotation and where does he fit. And I also like Cole Swider. I talked about him last night in a video. I don't know if you guys saw it. I did a video about him on my YouTube channel, and I mean, his Torad shooting is just off the charts. I mean, this guy has been lighting it up, and I know it's a small sample size because what is this? This is only summer league, right? These games don't really matter. We just get to see these young kids and how they are coming along as far as their development, and we get to see what they can bring to the team, and the scouts get to evaluate these players and see the tools that they have, and this kid definitely has the ability to shoot, and he will fit well playing alongside a guy like LeBron, because LeBron again has succeeded with shooters around him. And if this guy keeps lighting it up like this, he's gonna definitely find his place on this Laker team. I think he already has, because I think the Lakers committed to him by giving him a 2-year deal, if that's what I heard correctly. So it's looking good for him. He definitely has the potential to be a bright spot, particularly on offense. The way he shoots the basketball, it's just simply exciting to see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, this is another great episode of Laker Talk 101. I want to thank Jonathan, Big Time Corey for coming on. Um, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, right now we're just waiting. It look like everything just put on pause. Rob Linga did say that we're not done making moves. So we're just waiting. I want to thank you guys for coming on. You guys want to say on your last word? Well, they don't have anything else to say. I want to thank you guys. Make sure you follow the All Sports All Plays Network. We'll be back next Sunday, same time. We'll be covering, I will say this: if the Kyrie Irving trade to get done, we might pop up during the week. And who knows? But other than that, you guys have a good rest of your week, and we are out.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.